Hey guys, Alex Winkler here with the weekly trade review number 7. In this video, we're going to focus specifically on what would have happened if I stuck to my trade plan just a little bit closer. I think the results are going to surprise you just a little bit because they sure were an eye-opener for me. Let's start off with a little bit of housekeeping ahead of time. I updated this number here a little bit because I wanted to make it a little bit more transparent for you guys. And what I did originally in my trade reviews is I always use this number, the weekly total, which is basically any realized gain of that week. So if I open the trade this week and close it this week. The thing is, I also close trades from following weeks, which is this column. So now I'm using the combination of the two. And before, you can always see everything in here, but I typically only, in the title of the post, I would use this number. Now, in the title and the thumbnail of the videos, I'm going to be using the combination of both these numbers. And the reason I'm doing that is because it's a little bit easier. For example, in the video thumbnail, there's only going to be one number instead of two numbers. And I just feel like it's a little bit more transparent and easy for everyone. So that's why I'm going to make the change. I don't think it's a huge change, but just something I wanted to kind of bring your attention to. It was a pretty fun week. It was my first week back from a lot of nonstop traveling, and I don't mind trading and traveling. I mean, it's not my favorite, but being able to kind of have my morning routine and really focus on trading a little bit besides like, having to run somewhere every day or, waking up and you're at the airport or something, it gets a little bit exhausting trading. So I was really excited to finally get into, trading fully focused, not have a bunch of distractions around me. And it kind of shows right off the week. I mean, I didn't hit my $1,000 goal, but I got a good halfway towards it. And I think next week, I could do a lot better. I also made plenty of mistakes this week, and I want to review those review those now. There's one thing I definitely did notice, and usually my first or second trade of the day are pretty good, but anything after that gets it's kind of a slippery slope downwards. And it's not necessarily because I'm over trading. I'm still trading good setups, but I think it's because one, I'm a bit maybe mentally exhausted right around like after lunchtime, so I'm getting kind of faked out. So if the price action isn't really going the way I want, I'll close the trade, but then I'm like, oh, I should have got into that trade again, or I did have a good position, so I'm just not fully mentally there as I was in the morning. So I've noticed in the afternoon, most of my trading kind of goes downhill. So I think next week I'm going to be refraining from that quite a lot, unless I see a really good setup, and I'm going to document it ahead of time. But overall, I'm going to be focusing mainly on trading in the morning. Another reason I think I'm a bit off in the afternoon is because I also run several online businesses, and there's usually a lot going on, right? So my attention isn't fully focused on trading anymore. I'm in Skype conversations, I'm working on stuff, I'm coding, I'm maybe running around town. So all of a sudden, I don't have that clear mind as I did in the morning, especially with day trading. I mean, if you're building up long-term positions, moving funds around from one exchange to another, that's no problem. I could easily do that in the afternoon. But typically, like really getting into day trades that are lasting, anywhere from a few minutes to maybe 2 hours or something like that, I don't really like doing that when I'm doing something else. So those are all things that are kind of leading up to why I want to focus on trading in the morning. Coming over here to review the trading document, you can see I wasn't trading too much. I did get kind of back on the saddle with being a little more active. I was doing like 2 trades a week for the last 3 weeks almost, so it was completely just scratches everywhere. But here you can see I started off the week a bit rough, but then I kind of caught up a bit and almost averaged every day after the first day positive, besides this little -6. I also closed a pretty nice Neo trade that I opened the week before, so that was quite a nice gainer and really brought my average up. Now this is the fun part, and this is really what I wanted to review. Basically, what I always teach is you want to document your trade beforehand, so while you're in a trade, you don't get kind of faked out or forget what you're doing, or all of a sudden you want to do something else with this trade. You want to be really consistent, and you always want to have a strategy in mind, and you always want to be trading those good setups. And these trades that I listed here really highlight what I'm talking about. So I'll just quickly open each one, and then we could review them fairly quickly one by one. A lot of these trades, just to kind of give you guys a quick overview what I will be talking about, could have been a lot better. Almost all of them could have been doubled or tripled in revenue if I just held a little bit longer and stuck to my trade that I outlined. It's kind of funny because almost all the trades did exactly what I planned. So this is one of them. And here I say I closed out way too early. I could have easily made over a 10% gain on this one, which is kind of depressing. You can see I was shorting up in here and I sold after the big dip. And the reason why is because along the way I was watching this and I kept seeing it, constantly going back down, but then bouncing up. So the second I saw this, I thought it was going to potentially form a head and shoulders pattern where it bounces up over here, and then you eventually have this as the head, boom, and then the second shoulder over here. So I thought it was going to go back up, but we just kept going down. What I should have done is just took some of my profits, and if it got up, then get out a little bit more or held it, as I did think it was a head and shoulders. But again, I was getting, I guess too conservative on this one. I should have held a bit longer. The next trade, Neo, this was also a pretty nice trade, but again, it went over 22, and I could have held pretty, it made much better return on this one. Actually, another trade that highlights this way better is the day trade number 17. So this trade here, you could see this is where I could have got out on the trade before that, but on this new trade I opened a position here again, and then I got out right here, which looked really good at the time, but this actually ended up going to almost $24, and it was quite aggressive. I mean, this run up was freaking amazing. I was so upset when I got out, and the problem was I actually had to convert my Bitcoin, because I sold this back into Bitcoin because it was on Binance. So I sold my Neo, bought Bitcoin, and then I had to transfer it off the exchange, sell to USD. So I even lost some more money. So this number isn't even fully accurate. It's probably more of like $100 profit, which it's kind of hard to track because it's all a lot of transferring, moving around money and stuff like that. The original trade, exit and entries, this is my profit. However, as I said, moving the money from the exchanges ate up a little bit of that profit, unfortunately. Here also, oh man, this trade had me freaking out. All along the way, I was always, thinking about, oh, should I do an entry here? Everything was looking really nice. I was waiting for these constant breakouts, kind of a trend reversal. And then finally, it happened. I got in a little too early, and then I had to survive this candle. This happened so fast, I barely saw it. I wanted to get out afterwards, but I saw that we were kind of forming a bottom, so I stayed in. But then again, we were having kind of a consolidation, and I was getting a little too conservative. I was a bit nervous. I was getting a little scatterbrained, and I got out right before the big spike. So this trade, I could have really killed it. I think I could have made about $350 profit on this one trade if I just held it maybe another 10 minutes. So I held it for almost 2 hours, and then those last 10 minutes could have made all the difference. But and this is exactly what I had written down. This is exactly what I wanted on my trade. I had a bigger position, and got a and it went up way more than my expected results. So this is one of those examples where things could have went a lot better if I just held a little bit longer, kind of stuck to my trades. And that was kind of every single trade almost this week, was just I got out too early. And this really brings me to the biggest lessons. First, or actually second, I'll start with this one, is sticking to the plan just a little bit longer can make such a big difference. Obviously, if something goes against your plan, you want to get out, and you shouldn't think, oh, eventually the price is going to go back, especially when you're shorting, because the price may never come back, and then you could lose a lot of money. That's actually what happened with the VEN trade. Definitely check that out. I think I talked about it in the last video or the last weekly review. But stick to your trade, especially once the trade is going in your direction. There's no reason to get out. Maybe take some profits along the way. Almost all of my trades this week, I got out a little too early, so I'm a little upset about that. I mean, I can't complain about well over $500 profit, especially with the small account I'm trading with. But yeah, a little kind of something I really thought about a lot. Anyway, the first lesson also that I talked about in the beginning of this video is I get pretty sloppy on the second half of the day. So I want to rather focus in the morning on my trading, and then kind of be done with trading and focus on all the other business stuff that I need to do. We all live busy lives, and you can't be trading all the time. Set some time aside for trading if you want to do that, and then focus on. Over time, you're going to learn where your personality, has its strengths, and where your trading really excels. And then you really want to focus on that time. When I was trading equities, and a lot of equities traders that I know, their favorite time to trade is right when the bell opens. So about 9:30 to sometimes just 10 o'clock, maybe even 10:30, 11. But after that, they're basically done for the whole day. So they're only, full-time professional day traders. They're only trading about an hour, 2 hours a day. because they're just trading when the volume's there, and then after that they know that if they keep trading, they're going to start getting misses, and they're going to get sloppy, and all of a sudden they're going to try to do redemption trades, and you're just going to get into a bunch of emotional trading, and it's a mess. You want to have a clear mind, get in and out of your favorite positions, and just be done with it. Put the laptop away, or at least focus on something else. And that's what I kind of sometimes have a hard time doing. But now that I kind of see that pattern happening over and over again to me, especially with crypto trading, it's something I want to start implementing a bit more of my trading. Also, the third thing I wanted to talk about is my Bitfinex short that went totally wrong. I already had a video lesson about this, so I'm not going to really talk about it. I'll let you guys know that it's on YouTube and it's on the day trader lessons. And what's next? Well, basically doing almost what I did this week, except being a little bit more relaxed and sticking to the plan, because that could have made my week much better. I know my favorite setups. I don't want to get too aggressive too early. I want to know the market I'm in, so always make your watch list in the morning so you have a clear mind of what the market is doing. If it's a little bearish, that market, then there might not be that high of spikes if you're going long, or just things to think about. Know the general market, because most coins follow the market. And that's basically it. I mean, there's really no magic behind it. Just keep doing what I'm doing, and after maybe 1 or 2 trades in the morning, be happy with it and finish up there. Alright guys, I hope you have a great rest of the weekend, and I am looking forward to seeing everyone in the chat room. Till then, ciao ciao.